fund, and again, here's this admin processing fee that you need to pay to claim that.
The Senate has voted down moves which would have continued to allow foreign workers on Australian oil rigs. Labor, the Greens and the Palmer United Party teamed up to defeat the measure. The federal government is pushing for changes to a visa which would allow foreign nationals to work on the rigs. Paddy Crumlin is the National Secretary of the Maritime Union of Australia, and he joins me in the studio. Paddy Crumlin, were they employed in the first place, these people on the rigs?
Well, there's 3 visas here, Tony, and they packaged them up. The 457 visa is designed as a labour market test, and it's designed to have skills out there that don't exist in the Australian workplace here. So it fills a gap. There's a gap analysis. If the skills aren't in the country, we use that. All of the workers out there on 457s, as long as it's applied properly, we've got no problem.
And they're on equal wages and conditions.
Yeah,
with
Australian
their
conditions of employment. Fair
What's different about this other group?
They've created this other visa class that completely places the existing workforce out there that has done all the work, done all the construction, Australian workers, and replaces them with an international workforce where fair work doesn't apply, taxation doesn't apply. None of the Australian regulatory standards apply. It's a spurious, I guess, political move to bypass the intention of the legislation, not support it.
And they're under a different visa, which does allow them legally to work in Australia, but which you say doesn't provide the right wages and conditions.
And it never existed before. There's no workers out there on this visa. If this visa came in, not the 457, they put it in as a package type of political trickery. The new visa was to replace the thousands of existing maritime workers out there that have built the project, that operate under Australian conditions, and bring in international workers on developing country rates of pay.
Well, Senator Michaelia Cash and a lot of other people today, all the way through the industry, have said without these workers working on this visa, the 988 visa, a lot of production is going to be lost, and other people could lose their jobs, or at least a slowdown in the oil rigs off Australia because of the Maritime Union and Labor and the Greens and PUP voting against this.
Arrant nonsense and misleading. Mines and metals, they should have a visa for the mines and metals people, the consultants that have created this cynical approach to bypass the legislation.
But even you say these people are working on the rigs and they're fulfilling a role at the moment, aren't they?
No, they're not. This is a new visa. No one's on it. 457's over here. We're okay with 2 out of the 3 visas. The new visa that they've implanted in there, you take the whole of the regulation or nothing. That's the political cynicism of the move. We said to them, take it away, keep the 457, labour testing, we're okay, take away the MCV, which is basically to replace. There is nobody on the maritime crew visa out there, Tony.
No one out there at the moment.
One.
So Michaelia Cash, when other people say that these people, because they won't be able to work, they'll have to down tools, things will go awry, they're wrong.
Nonsense. Okay. An absolute fabrication. It's only been in place for 12 days. The people that are doing the work, that this visa, the new class of visa, are Australians that constructed the spread, that have worked out there the whole time, and that they will be replaced by an international workforce. It's a loophole to distort and move around the intent of the legislation. It is a regulation to remove the legislation.
All right, just finally, Paddy Crumlin, did your union lobby the PUP senators to actually get the change here?
We went and had a chat to them, with the other unions. All of the unions involved out there of the same. Yeah, we went.
Well, you got Labor and the Greens. You needed PUP, didn't you?
Yeah, we went and had a talk to Clive Palmer and the other senators. Very interesting experience, actually.
Did you have to convince them, or were they already of the opinion that maybe they would change they would vote against this measure?
No, once it was explained logically that they bundled up these 3 visas, and we didn't have any problem with those visas. You know, the 457 visas that aren't the skills in the country. Once that was clarified and we moved through the guff of mines and metals, they were as good as gold.
All right, Paddy Crumlin from the Maritime Union, thank you very much.
Thanks, mate.
We can go now to the industry's response, and we're